Hello, Watem here, and welcome back to some more Umineko When Seagulls Cry. This needs to be out shortly, so I will probably have to rush through the editing process. So hopefully nothing comes up. In case, let's continue. Cannon's voice was frail, but he nodded firmly. After looking at his eyes, Gordon nodded firmly as well. Gordon was a veteran with many years behind him. He'd seen a great number of people in his life, so he knew the vigorous sparkle that could be found in the eyes of those who possessed self-control. He had surely seen that in Cannon's eyes, so he would leave this to Cannon. When you think about it, maybe this was the first time Gordo had ever trusted Cannon and relied on him for a job. You know, it just took all the important people in the family to die. I guess not the head of the family, technically, yet. Jessica, still suffering from asthma, seemed to be heading towards her room, though she kept leaning against the wall. Cannon followed her wordlessly. If she had asked for a hand, he would have leapt forward and supported her. But until Jessica did ask for that, he chose to hide himself, watching over her from a distance where he could come to her rescue at any time. When people feel that their hearts are about to explode from sadness, or want to have someone by their sides, you can bet 10 billion of them would want to turn around and find someone in the place Cannon now stood. As he watched over Jessica from behind. Then, finally, she dabbled over in front of the door to her room. The asthma attack had stolen all of her strength, and her thoughts had gotten hazy from the lack of oxygen, making it impossible even to stand up again. But right then, Jessica didn't think she wanted someone to lend a hand. She still hadn't been able to overcome the flames of anger. Even if someone had offered her a hand with good intentions, Jessica would have wanted to tear it off right then. She knew how unfair that would be. So, she definitely wouldn't ask for help until she overcame the fiery anger burning inside. Jessica had probably lost the willpower even to call for help. But Cannon heard it. He definitely heard it. Cannon definitely heard that voiceless call for help, one shared by a miserable, grievous world round, an endless scream that no one ever seems to hear. Cannon quietly knelt by Jessica's side and wordlessly offered her a shoulder. Though Jessica kept coughing painfully, she accepted it, unlocked the door to her room, and entered.
こちらへ。今、お薬をご用意します。
Jessica often said that when her asthma got serious enough, it hurt so bad that she felt like she'd vomit up her whole stomach. Her face was pale, and her gaze wavered. And yet, the coughing continued. Even so, her sadness was probably even stronger. After having her sit on the bed, Cannon took a bronchodilator from a cute little basket on a nearby side table and handed it to her. Jessica sometimes forgot to take her medicine with her. Whenever this seemed to have happened, Cannon would take notice and secretly carry around the inhaler from the first aid kit in the servant room, but he hadn't done so today. He scolded himself, as though wondering how he could call himself furniture after failing to bring it with him on a day like this. Then he remembered the day when he'd used that word and somehow betrayed Jessica's feelings. It jarred Cannon's heart, but he felt it would be indiscreet to think about something like that, considering how Jessica felt now, and he locked it up inside the depths of his heart. When she inhaled her medicine, Jessica's wild breathing calmed down bit by bit, and she was finally able to regain her composure. But she'd lost too much strength and willpower to get up from the bed.
大丈夫ですか、お嬢様。
私は大丈夫だぜ。ど さんと母さんはダメだけど、私はもうちょっとなきゃ大丈夫だぜ。
No, you won't. Canon regretted his poor choice of words. Did he really say, "Are you all right?" to her? Was he really that clueless of the pain in her heart? This was what made him furniture. This was why he couldn't become human.
廊下におります。ご用がありましたら、すぐにお呼びください。
She'll call him right away. Canon understood that she still needed some time to cry alone. He told her to call him at any time, bowed, tried to leave the room. However...
何か
You! Jessica had spoken up as though she wanted him to stop, so Canon had stopped. So with a 50-50, there's also a chance that she'll just go nothing and he'll leave. She asked it, "I'll do anything I can to help her. Right now, I'd even become a cane or a chair if it would please help ease the pain in her heart. If by doing that, I could make up for the pain I dealt to her heart on that day." For a while, Jessica stared into Canon's eyes. It was as though her reason for stopping him was something she couldn't put into words. This song's piece is interesting. Just tonally where it goes, it feels quite all over the place. Also notice how they're looking away from each other. For a while, neither spoke. Jessica broke that silence with a small voice.
ごめん。なんでもないぜ。しばらく一人になりたいって。
一人にはしません。あなたを僕は一人にしない。だから廊下にいます。
In other words, leaving you alone.
いつでも呼んでください。
For just an instant, it looked like some kind of hope had flitted into Jessica's eyes. But it was very faint, and disappeared like the first snow on the surface of the river. Because he's saying he's gonna wait outside rather than being right there.
ありがとな。しばらくだけ。
はい、失礼します。
Canon bowed once again and closed the door. He'd thought those words of his would give her some courage, but now it felt as though they'd actually hurt her for some reason. Right, wonder what reason that could be, huh, Canon? Huh? Why? He didn't know. Surely that was because he was furniture. That was why he couldn't grasp human sadness even now. As Canon repeatedly questioned himself, he walked down the corridor. It felt like the window at the corridor's end was coolly calling to him. Okay, either he's gonna cry or Beatrice will appear before him in some way.
僕はやっぱり家具でしかないのか。
It was still pouring outside, a dark, grey world. Even on days like this, Shannon would surely see the ocean and know that it was blue. But to my eyes, even if it cleared up, I would only see grey. Until I can understand the blue of the ocean, I'll be nothing but furniture imitating a person.
本当に女心のわからぬやつよ。
Oh, I called it in my 50-50 at least.
ああいう時は黙ってそばにいるのが正解だ。
Yeah, so if I got it on my 50-50, I guess that means I should get half a point, whatever that point counts for.
だからゆえに貴様は家具なのよ。
So I wonder if she's physically there or not physically there.
貴様
There shouldn't have been any trace of human life in this corridor. It had been an empty corridor filled with frigid air. I mean, why else would you feel cold towards the window, if not for Beatrice being there? With very scoffing words, approached Cannon from behind. Oh. Close enough. When he turned around, he saw that witch. That witch who hadn't shown herself when Jessica had searched for her with rage bordering on madness, and who had left that sneering letter to toy with Jessica.
女の傷つけ方は3つある。
1, you chop off her arm. 2, you chop off her legs. 3, you chop off her...
特別にわらわが教えてやろう。一つは刃物で傷つける。一つは心で傷つける。
So, like, really just stab him through the heart, right? Yeah.
そして最後が一番難しく、一番効果的に傷つけられる。なのに意識せずして傷つけられる。わかるか？
No, because everything which I think of just goes back to the heart.
わかるわけもないし、知りたくもない。
I feel like it's something that I would consider still, like, attacking the heart, but is different for them.
期待を裏切る。だ。
I guess so.
女ほど夢見がちな生き物はいない。勝手に夢を見、勝手に傷つく。お前のような距離の男が一番女を傷つける。わかるまいな。貴様、どれほどジェシカを傷つけてきたか、全く考えが及んでいまい。家具だから。
お前のたわごとに付き合う気は毛頭ない。僕を嘲笑うためだけに姿を現したというのか。
That sounds about right.
うぬぼれるな家具。
Oh.
貴様ごとき嘲笑うにも足りぬわ。
Sure.
しかしそなたも一人ではそれに値しなくても二人揃えば十分に足りる。若々しき男女の悲運を笑う喜びは何度繰り返しても飽きぬのでな。
なんだと。まさか貴様、お嬢。
第二の番の生贄に寄り添う二人が必要なのでな。お前たち二人は実に都合が良い。
Again with her face, but yes, I did say that might be a possibility. Yeah, I guess the two who are close isn't especially specific, which is why I'd also thought that it might refer to Cannon and Shannon together.
待て、勘違いするな。僕はお嬢様とそういう関係じゃない。
But it's
第
vague.
二の番の生贄にはならない。
So in other words, you're telling her to go ahead and kill Shannon and George?
だからお前はジェシカを傷つける。だからお前は人間になれぬ。ならばよいだろう。貴様がジェシカを思い人と認めぬならばそれを受け入れてもよい。だがジェシカは殺す。
なぜ？
このバカが決まっておろうが。殺したらそなたが歪めるだろうその表情が楽しいからの他に何の理由が必要なのか。儀式に従いわらわは気まぐれに13人を生贄とする。だがそれ以上殺してはならないとの決まりはない。
Hmm. Yeah, also, Beatrice, who broke your heart? Why do you hate couples so much?
わらわが楽しければ幾人でも殺す。
All who remain shall die?
だから殺す。わらわを思いっきり笑わせてみせろよ。カグカノン。
At that time, Canon definitely heard Jessica scream. When he blinked and looked down the corridor, which he'd supposedly been there so nonchalantly just a second ago, was gone. That moment, he was just standing there all alone in the corridor, doing nothing. And the person he wanted to protect was asking for help, from far away in that direction. It was obvious what he should do. It wasn't logical. It was an electric reflex. Without a trace of hesitation or distraction. There was a person he wanted to protect, and she was asking for help. And, at that moment, he genuinely wanted to protect the person by he genuinely wanted the person by her side to be him. When he flew into Jessica's room, the scene that greeted his eyes was a bizarre one. The room had become a fantastical world, where a blizzard of gold-coloured specks danced, almost as though a gold leaf had been scattered inside a snow globe. No, that's not it. Butterflies? I've seen this spectacle before. This isn't gold leaf. It's countless golden butterflies, Beatrice's minions. Jessica was surrounded by countless butterflies, waving her hands around, trying frantically to drive them away. I'm wondering, is there perhaps a limit to the amount of people that can be present at once? Because we don't know for certain. Yeah. Okay, so we know for certain the first episode, the first six got dragged there, so they definitely could have been in separate locations, at least partially. Might have attacked people two at a time there. And also we know from Eva and Hideyoshi there were two there. We aren't aware of a case where there's been three people. And the reason why I'm saying, for certain. When we've seen like perspective of someone dying, it's always been two people or one person. One of the reasons I'm talking about this now is because now we've got a situation where we've got Jessica and Canon, but previously there had also been Gordo. And nothing happened then. So I'm wondering if having the third person there was somehow interference. Or maybe it's because Canon is furniture, but so another possibility. Jessica's a target. Canon's furniture, so he doesn't count, and Golda isn't a target, so him not being a target and being in the location interferes with it somehow. Also, we've got a TARDIS going on right now. Canon rushed towards Jessica and violently brushed the cloud of butterflies away. The butterflies, which were sickening despite their beauty, surrounded Jessica's face, trying to crawl in through her mouth and nose. Jessica choked violently, almost as though the butterflies were triggering an asthma attack, mocking her. Noticing very specifically not using one of the demonic ice picks things. Making it a plausibly deniable or plausible accident, I guess, or natural causes. When Canon ran towards her, the butterflies stopped attacking and began to dance an elegant rondo around the pair. So it might be that she's going to use the demon ice picks for the two of them now, for the two who are close. But if he hadn't come or something, then maybe just killing her with natural causes, quote unquote.
僕の目の黒いうちはあなたに誰の指一本触れさせたりするものか。出てこいベアトリーチェ。これで満足か。
As he stood guard in front of Jessica, who was using her inhaler, and seemed to be in pain, Cannon yelled into the empty air. And when he did, the empty air did indeed laugh back, satisfied, as he now sealed their faces for second twilight. Then she showed herself. It wasn't in response to Cannon's demand. It was obviously because appearing and sneering would bring them even more humiliation. And plus, it was more fun. It had us an interesting effect. It's got like the kind of silhouettes of the butterflies there, but not fully there either.
これで全ては筋書き通りよ。今やそなたは相乗の恋よな。いや、二人が揃ったのだから、カモとネギと呼ぶべきか。
Did I accidentally press something twice? No, I didn't. Okay. That should be in the grimoire. Ducks and onions. You can read through this in your own time, I guess. I'll read through it. Duck and green onions are the primary ingredients for a duck stew. This gave rise to the Japanese phrase, a duck comes bearing green onions, in which a duck approaches carrying its own seasoning ready to be eaten. This metaphorically refers to a situation where a series of lucky coincidences benefits you without any effort, or alternatively, where a naive person brings you what you want without being unaware of a disadvantage for themselves. Perhaps because of this, a mark or a sucker in terms of scams is often called a duck in Japanese. Huh. Just want to check something. Okay, it isn't an actual letter, it's the... Yep. Yeah, not a real letter, but the note she left behind.
お下がりください。お嬢様、僕が守る。
And what can you do?
姫に騎士が揃わば魔女が現れるのは必然よ。どれ、金蔵の家具がどの程度の力を持つか見せてもらおうではないか。
She snapped her fingers with a piercing sound. When she did, a blizzard of gold butterflies was stirred up, and they began to form a small mountain as they whirled around in a circle. It was just like the swirling of cold wintry wind that builds up a mountain of leaves. Huh? From that mound of gold a hand sprouted, and it appeared, as though a resident of the world below was crawling up from beneath the ground. Once again, I've seen so many things this part to have as a thumbnail. Jessica couldn't comprehend what she was seeing right now, and her mouth kept flapping open and closed. It was a bite of wisdom, seen in those trying to understand something incomprehensible. Oh! That wasn't quite what I expected. That thing crawling up. It's probably an attendant who served the witch. It appeared to be wearing a uniform suitable for one who served. But its face was wrong. It looked strange. You don't say. No, that's totally normal human face there. Nothing abnormal about this all. That's just how butlers look, right? It's covered with pitch black hair, reeked rotten breath, and its eyes were filled with the same strange subterranean glow as lava. And, to symbolize its non-human status, it had two horns. It was the figure of a goat-faced attendant who served the witch. I'm trying to remember. From memory, Hanyu has like one full horn and a broken horn or something. Can't quite picture it from memory. By now, Jessica had no idea what she should say. All of this happening in front of her couldn't be explained with common sense, and she couldn't do anything except open and close her mouth. Jessica hadn't realized. She hadn't realized that this island had already been cut off from the rules of our world. There were some things even she could understand. This goat attendant served the witch. It was after her life. And apparently, the witch had already given it the order. She was looking at Cannon with an expectant gaze. She looked at him with an expectant and therefore challenging gaze, as though asking him how he intended to protect this maiden. Where the attendant had looked especially bestial while crawling to its feet, you could see in the way if it carried itself that it possessed more than enough grace to be worthy of serving the Golden Witch. And you could tell that it was overflowing with the joy of furniture, wanting to meet its master's expectations. Is this also furniture then? Or was it just using the word furniture rather than canon term furniture?
見せてもらおうではないか。金蔵の家具の力を。今度は間違えるな。家具であることを忘れるな。この後に及んで人間のふりを続けるのなら、死ぬのはお前だけでは済まぬぞ。
The goat attendant made what seemed to be a silent, respectful bow. Was it directed at its master? Or was it offered to Cannon, its opponent? Then, on the attendant's hand, a blade of wicked malice appeared. Oh.
なんだよそれ。
There's too many things to try to have a thumbnail. Jessica had been unable to understand what was happening with her eyes for a while now. All she understood was that this glow in front of her existed for the purpose of ending her life. And right now, that was enough. Cannon spoke quietly to Jessica, who was hiding behind his back.
お嬢様、壁に下がっていてください。
Try jumping out the window?
背中は決して壁から離さないように。
姫君はおとなしく騎士殿の背中に隠れているがいい。
I'm still waiting for that TARDIS to appear.
自らの命を男に守らせる醍醐味でも存分に味わえばよい。さあ、カノ、お前の刃を見せてみよ。
Hmm? No. So it did refer to that goat thing. I'm not sure what to call it yet. As furniture. Cannon's also furniture. Perhaps it is the same term, and that's how they're able to use this.
美しい。金蔵は家具を生み出すことに関してだけはわらわの足元に及ぶやもしれぬ。
こんなものバラの手入れにも使えない。
カノン君、それは。
That?
見せたくなかった。
よくぞ抜いたぞ。思いを寄せる女の前で己が人間以下の存在であることを晒した気分はどんなものよ。
What a... Is Shannon able to do that? And is Another mental blank. Genji, able to do that. Also, in the first episode, didn't he bring like a hatchet or something when he challenged the witch? Why do that? And what's the reason for using it now, not then? I wonder if there is none. In any case, on that line, I'll end it there. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, I'm going to have to very quickly try to get a thumbnail for this episode, for this part. And I don't know which one I'll have to pick. Decisions. Until next time. See ya.